Hello everybody, it is Steve, your friendly neighborhood lawn gnome. Welcome back to another video over here on That's Comical. And if you're watching and it happens to be a Wednesday, happy new comic book day. Well, here we are everybody, the starting point. The first video that will officially kickstart a string of reviews and hopefully some look-back reviews of the brand new James Gunn and Peter Saffron DCU. The first of a streamlining of various television shows and movies based on DC characters after a unfortunately failed DC EU run that was originally put together by Zack Snyder with Man of Steel starring Henry Cavill. Now, I gotta say, I was a very big fan of the DCEU. Batman v Superman, Justice League, Man of Steel, Wonder Woman, Aquaman. I truly enjoyed these DC films that came out starting in 2013. And especially seeing Zack Snyder's cut of Justice League and seeing what this universe had the potential to be. Knowing that when James Gunn and Peter Saffron were officially called to come in and do a reboot, apparently in this case a soft reboot, let's just say that I really wasn't the biggest fan of these events. Especially knowing that the movies from Black Adam to Aquaman, The Lost Kingdom were at this point in time not worth actually seeing, and the truth is I didn't see a single one of them in theaters because of the fact that of course it was the pandemic, we were coming out of it, I had just welcomed my daughter into the world, so I had no time to go to movies regardless. But I caught all of these movies on streaming, and yeah, there was a thought in the back of my mind wondering what was the point of all of these movies knowing that we were going to be getting this reboot. And I also have to admit that I was planning on giving this brand new DCU no love whatsoever because I was sick and tired of the wrong people being put in charge of stories and characters that I absolutely adore and just not knowing how to do these right. But I'm not going to lie that when they officially announced the brand new Superman film trailer that's coming out later this year in 2025, I have to admit that I felt my mind changing a little bit, and it looked like a great movie, and I really hope that that will be the case, because I am going to go see it and hopefully give you guys my thoughts. So I said to myself, if I'm going to do this, then I've got to start from the top. So today we're going to be talking about the first installment of the DCU, Creature Commandos, which is a animated series starring the voice talents of Alan Tudyk, Sean Gunn, and David Harbour, just to name a few. So, is this really the starting point of the DCU? Yes and no. To a certain degree, it does give you a starting point, but the truth of the matter is, you kind of, for a little bit more meat, have to go back and watch James Gunn's The Suicide Squad, you have to watch his show Peacemaker, and yeah, to a certain degree, you may have to watch David Ayer's Suicide Squad, because there are a couple of elements that are mentioned at the very beginning of this brand new show that are very much referenced to these older projects. And basically, Amanda Waller, because of her failures in her previous missions, can no longer use human supervillains to take on these Suicide Squad missions, so she is given the ability to recruit monsters. And they come in the forms of the Bride, as in Frankenstein Monster's Bride, Dr. Phosphorus, Weasel making his triumphant return, and Nina Mazursky, just to name a few. And it is the story of Rick Flag's father, Rick Flag Sr., who is voiced by Frank Grillo, who is going to have a larger role in the future films and TV shows to see if he can keep them all under control. And let's not forget that Viola Davis, thank goodness, has returned to voice Amanda Waller. So, I was expecting fun, because I have fun when it comes to James Gunn's projects. I love his Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy over at Marvel. And yes, I did enjoy the Suicide Squad and Peacemaker featuring John Cena very much. This was fun. This was not perfect, but the animation was great. The action was crazy, and the show had a decent story. I was really impressed with the storytelling because in each episode we peeled back the layers on each of the characters. So we got to a little bit of a backstory because these are characters that I really do not know. I never read the original comic book from the 1980s, so even the announcement of Creature Commandos was a little bit weird for me because along with this and another comic book that's going to be part of this, The Authority, I know a lot of people love that book, but I don't really know much about it. I was curious as to why James Gunn was picking these random things and turning them into the first story arc of the DCU. But it was fun, and I had a good time. And yes, I even laughed. I will definitely say the highlight of this show is David Harbour playing Eric Frankenstein, because the voice with that character is such a crazy mismatch. It only makes you smirk and even belly laugh from time to time. And I had such a fun time with this character and how all he wanted to do was chase after the bride and make her love him. But I also will say that I got to really know these characters and really did appreciate these characters, even though we did get an untimely demise of one of them. But apparently, people watched it, people liked it, there's a season 2 in the works. So I'm going to say, yes, if you've enjoyed James Gunn's projects already in the world of comics, Marvel or DC, check out Creature Commandos. I think you'll have a good time with it. Just beware, this is not for the faint-hearted. This is very, very violent. But if you've seen The Suicide Squad and Peacemaker and you liked those two, this is right up your alley. So thank you very much for watching, everybody. Please leave a comment in the box below and let's discuss Creature Commandos. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that, and what are your thoughts on the future DCU movies and TV shows coming out, because right now Superman is definitely on everybody's mind, and it seems like the TV show Lanterns is really starting to take shape, especially because of the fact that they announced that Kyle Chandler is going to be playing Hal Jordan. So that makes me very excited. And also knowing that Nathan Fillion is going to be Guy Gardner in the Superman movie, most likely will also be in the Lanterns TV show. I'm very excited about that. So I will see you in the next one.